gotta be honest, man. For me, no excuse. You know why? Because Will Smith gets 20 million a fucking film. Just take it to Turkey and get a hair transplant if it bothers you that much. And I don't just mean like a Donald Trump, Wayne Rooney hair transplant. I mean like a Kanye West, Andros Townsend hair transplant. Like a really good one. Top of the line. Rolls Royce toupee, that's what you need to get. Because, you know, I'm not there yet, you know. I'm not getting 20 million. I'm not know if I'm even getting 20 for this show. But I'm just saying that, like, if it's a real problem, you got the money to solve that shit. I ain't got that kind of tax bracket to get the kind of hair transplant I want. Because people always say to me, hey, Dane, you got money now, why don't you get a hair transplant? And it's for the same reason that I don't eat vegan cheese. Technology's not there yet. I'm sorry. It's not there yet. I don't want to come back from Turkey and like the front of my head looks like I got like ant pubes on the front, you know? Towards the time when, you know, and I feel like it's a shame, I guess, and this is crazy for me to say this, like when black guys go bald, there might be the one time we have privilege over white guys. Because like a lot of bald black guys, like, you know, like I said, like Michael Jordan, he's bald, everyone loves him. Dave Chappelle's bald, everyone loves him, right? Like normally when you're a white guy and you're bald, people think that you're old, racist, sick, Phil or Grant Mitchell. So it's like, you know, it can be, it's much tougher for them. It's tongue. Glad you went with that, guys, because sometimes when people hear privilege, they get very uptight. Last 2 years has been very tense about people trying to work out who has the most privilege. Luckily for you, I've done the work for you. The way I worked out who has the most privilege is when I found out a story involving OnlyFans. Now, OnlyFans... Okay, well, don't just cheer, just ask her for a fucking act. What's going on here? You don't go, you go, how can I subscribe, please? OnlyFans is a cool thing. I think the only people losing out with OnlyFans would be pimps, because now women can just do it at home. Because remember there used to be a saying, you can't make a hoe into a housewife. But now you can have a house hoe. So now there's a compromise there. Which is cool, you know. Now, the thing about the whole OnlyFans thing is I was in the States last week, not bragging, just saying. And I found out a story about a lady called Stephanie Motta, and she was on a reality show. When she left the reality show, she opened up an OnlyFans account, and she started selling her farts in a jar to men with a fetish. Now, sir, you're looking at me like that cannot be true. It definitely is true, sir. It really is. There's a woman out there was selling farts in a jar. And that's not even the crazy part. She was making 100 grand. She made 100 grand in 1 month selling farts in a jar. Now, some of you are cheering, but there are women in here right now that are on dates with guys that have been holding in farts since 5 p.m. Even some of you, you think I'm funnier than I am, but you can't get too loose because you know, you'll be like, oh. What was that? Oh. Some of you have been popping Senecots all evening just to stop the farts coming out. Did you know you were sitting on a gold mine this whole time, lady? 100 grand from farts in a jar. So once Stephanie realizes she can make 6 figures a month from selling her farts in a jar, well, she goes Scarface with her bum, pushing it to the limit. She's eating refried beans, baked beans and stuff. It's a true story. What happens is, she ends up having a coronary and has to go to the hospital because she's been straining herself from trying to fart so hard. Now you see that, ladies? You know, you think about, I could never be a stripper or do an OnlyFans or do porn, because what would my parents think? They might not be happy about that, but imagine the phone call when they're like, hello, is this Mr. Motta Senior? It is, yes. We have some news about your daughter. Nah, I've heard about the OnlyFans, we're working through it. Yeah, she'd be farting in jars. That's not even the worst part, sir. She's gone too far with that too, and so... And so, I must say, to the white women in the room, currently clutching your bellies, trying to remain prim and proper. You have the most privilege, or second most privilege in society, if you can make 6 figures from selling farts in a jar. If you can sell farts in a jar, it's hard for you to complain about the patriarchy. I'm sorry, guys. Now, remember, I said second most privilege. You know who has the most privilege? The men that were buying farts in a jar. Come on, guys, what the fuck are we doing here? I'll be honest, like, you know, I was like straight white guys, like everyone is ganging up on straight white men all the time. You get paid too much, you pieces of shit, we can't trust you. And I know that's not every single white guy. And I was like, you know, they can't all be that bad. Now you're that bad. You can't talk about a wage gap being a lie if you're paying for farts in a jar, guys. Robin Williams used to say, if you do cocaine, that's nature's way of saying you're making too much money. I disagree. If you're buying farts in a jar, you're making too much money. And I know some of you are thinking, Dane, that's fair, but it can't just be white guys that are buying farts in a jar. There's no Asian man buying farts in a jar. Not when there's curry in the fridge. Black dudes aren't buying farts in a jar. Not when there's condensed milk in the cupboard. If I want farts in a jar, I won't have vegan cheese, I'll have regular cheese. Let me ask you guys a question. You ever seen a job getting stolen before?